Well, hello, everybody, Crossroads. How you guys doing? Hey, Justin here, and with me, we have got the amazing, fantabulous Karen Strine from Eldersburg. Karen and I have the privilege of doing a lot of fun singing together and everything. You're just so awesome. I just love having you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yes, it's awesome. We are here talking about this series we're in called The Messy Middle, and in this week, we talked about this idea that you are in these situations, sometimes when we're in the middle of life and faith, we have a hard time feeling like God is there. Or you may find yourself in these situations that God, you just hard to see where God is. And you kind of go, where are you? Have you abandoned me? Do you care?
Yeah.
And our pastors across the campuses talked about this idea that God's love for us is so huge, and when we can trust that love, we can trust his heart for us. And so we talked about that. We talked about that encouragement. And Karen, I would just love to hear from you how you can personally relate to this topic, you know?
Yeah, I was thinking a lot about it after I heard the message. Reed was talking about how so many times we end up stealing our love from other places when we don't really fully understand the gravity or the depth of God's love. And I was thinking back towards a time in my life about 10 years ago that I went through a really, really deep depression that lasted probably about 2 years. I've always suffered with anxiety, but it just really turned into something that really held me down, and I just didn't know where God was in that. And I realized that through my life, I had been stealing that love that I should have been relying on God for. I had been stealing my love from other people, other things. If my mental health was good, then I felt loved. If my relationships were good, then I felt loved. But it was in this moment where depression had robbed me of really my right frame of mind that I realized that I needed to fully and completely rely on the love of God, because that was the only thing perfect in my life. And it's crazy because when I went through that situation where we would call kind of that messy middle, I didn't really see God, but at the same time, I think it was the weakest point in my life, but then the strongest, if that makes any sense. Because I really had nothing to hold on to other than him. Because no matter what I kept telling myself, nothing was changing this until I really just pressed into God and really just realized the love that he really did have in me. And it was through that time that my faith grew to a place that I had never experienced before.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a hard time, but my gosh, I would never want to trade it because of what I learned through it.
Wow. So you made it through it. You found the love in that moment. You found him. I would just love to know, maybe, is there like one time maybe just during that period that you remember that was really significant, where you really experienced like that love really became real in that moment?
Yeah, I even remember where I was. I was sitting on my bed at home, and I was just crying and just feeling so defeated, and I just felt like I just needed to open the Word and just read. And I can't explain to you how the words on the page like literally leapt at me and felt more real than I have ever experienced. And it was just literally just reading the scriptures. And it was strange how in that moment I experienced for the first time the true love of God. And I don't know why it was so real in that moment, but it just became very, very real to me. It was just sitting at home reading the
Wow, I can imagine that impacts your worship.
Oh, most definitely, yes.
Wow, that is so honestly really cool.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about this before,
No.
so
No.
I've really struggled with that too, like in my own way. I have had seasons where I felt like I was alone. I felt like, I'm like, God, where are you? Like, I've been trusting you. I think a couple years ago when I was at a previous church, when the pandemic hit and we lost, when I went through some betrayals in family and some different things that happened, without sharing all their names and details, there was a lot of things that happened to us when I felt like we were doing everything right. You know, when I felt like I was trying to follow the Lord, I was trying to be a good minister, trying to be faithful. Definitely was not perfect or anything, but I felt like my heart was in that, like, I want to go after you, Lord.
Yeah.
And then it was like, boom, 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 all these things are happening. I'm kind of going like, where are you? Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you allowing this to happen? Like, and I felt like I was just lost in this pain. I just remember my wife crying so much, like going through these things in her personal life, and we were just struggling with processing through some of the things we were going through. And it was just really tough.
Oh, yeah.
It was, and I kind of almost lost faith for like a little while, because I almost became bitter, because I was like, God, like, where are you? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, I'm following you. Why are you allowing this to happen to me? Like, isn't it that if I'm faithful, like, you're supposed to be more faithful to me. Like, where are you? Like, where's your heart? And aren't you good? Like, aren't you taking care of me? And yet these things are happening. And it took me some time to sort through that.
Yeah.
And I remember, I just remember getting out my Bible too, actually, and journaling. And there were just times where the Lord I just felt peace that would come. And I just remember him just affirming. Like, a lot of times I didn't have answers for why and things like that, but I just remember that affirmation that would just come and come and come, and it would just sink deeper and deeper. And so that was one of the things, just remaining in Jesus and connecting to him and getting his word. So it sounds like the word is something that we have in common.
Most definitely.
So get in the word, y'all. So
Yeah.
that is so cool, Karen. I appreciate you coming and sharing.
Absolutely.
You've got such a big heart, and
thanks.
we love having you a part of it. And we hope to have you on the online service more, and I know Eldersburg's coming around. It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
And so without further ado, we will see you guys later. Thank you for jumping in here on our Going Deeper post-sermon conversation. Have a great week, and we'll see you on Sunday for week 3 of the Messy Middle. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.